Hi boys and girls, Mrs. Monroe here with a science experiment. You'll need a bowl, an egg, and vinegar, or you can just watch and see what I did. This actually was one of my favorite ones that I've done. So to start, I put the egg in the bowl, and then I poured the white vinegar on top. I put enough in it so you can see the egg kind of stayed on the bottom, and the vinegar filled the cup. That's what it looked like on top. Couple of bubbles. After a little bit, maybe 5 minutes, there were some more bubbles. And then maybe after an hour or so, that's what it started to look like. It has to sit for 24 hours. This was the next morning when I woke up. And then a little bit later, you could see the egg still, there's a lot of bubbles and stuff happening in there. So in the morning, this is what I did. I took out the egg and I gently rubbed off all that extra stuff. And this is what it ended up looking like. I rinsed it off in my sink. I put it on a nice plate. And I thought, what does this feel like? It was a little bouncy. So I decided, let me try something else. And I gave it a squeeze, and as you can see, it was a little smushy. Then I decided to do some more experiments with this. I got out a flashlight. It was like glowing in the dark. Can you see the yellow? That's the yolk inside the egg. Then I thought, let me go to a dark place, my laundry room, and see what happens. It looks like it's glowing in the dark. I sat the egg on top of my flashlight, and this is the egg just sitting on my white washing machine with the flashlight shining on it. Back to the kitchen, I decided, let me see if this rubbery feeling egg will bounce. So I picked it up in the air and I let it drop. It wasn't very high, but I was a little nervous it was going to make a big mess. So I dropped it, and as you can see by the blur, even though you can't see it actually bouncing, the blur shows you that it was moving, and it did bounce a little bit. Then I decided to get out one of my pointy little pokers. I touched the egg, and I decided to stick the poker in the egg to see what happened. And don't you know, boop, it popped. I missed the picture because I jumped. It scared me. But out popped the yellow yolk and the white part of the egg. And also, you can see there's a little white thing that looks like a balloon. When I picked it up, it felt like a balloon. Then it got me thinking, what would happen if I did this to an egg right out of my refrigerator? I happen to have white eggs and brown eggs. Mr. Monroe likes his eggs. So when I lit up the white egg in the kitchen, you can see it looked kind of pretty, kind of close to the other egg. Then I lit up the brown egg in the kitchen, and that looked pretty cool too. Then I brought them both into my dark laundry room. I lit up the white egg, and that glowed kind of like the other egg. And then I did the brown egg, and the brown egg looked red. It was very pretty. So that's my egg experiment. And I think what happened was the acid in the vinegar ate away at what the shell of the egg is made out of. So it's a chemical reaction. Like I said, it was one of my favorite experiments. So hopefully you'll get a chance. And if you do it, I really like to hear how high you could drop the egg before it splatters. If you do that, make sure you get permission and do it over your sink or outside or something. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next week.